The next thing to look at is hardness in the water. As in Afrikaans, this is called kalk, and in English it's called lime. If you have a water analysis, what you're looking for there is either CaCO3 or total hardness. Now, this basically what it causes a white scale of build-up in your taps, in the shower head, in your geysers, on the kettle. Not all waters have this, but if you have over about 50 ppm, you start to get that scaling effect, and that dramatically shortens the lifespan of appliances and of course of your geysers. So it really is something to look at, to take out if you're busy installing some kind of a setup. Now, the right way to do it is to remove it via ion exchange via water softener. Now, what the water softener does is it basically exchanges that hardness for salt in the water. And the nice thing is it comes in an automatic version, which you just add salt to this tank and it automatically regenerates itself with using normal table salt. Ideally, you would want to buy this from a swimming pool store or a hardware store where you can get them at bulk for very, very cheap. The size of these vary dramatically. This is a relatively small one. This is a 25 litre one. Typically, we normally recommend a 75 or 100 litre one, just because on the regeneration cycle you do waste quite a lot of water, and you want to run that as infrequently as you possibly can, just because for about 20 or 30 minutes you have water constantly running to drain. You'd normally set it to do it at like 2 in the morning, so it doesn't interrupt your house's water supply, but it is a lot of water you're wasting. The 100 litre vessel is about as tall as a person and a bit wider, just to give you an idea of the size. They are quite expensive though, but they really, really work very, very well. If you have over about a 500 hardness, then these standard off-the-shelf solutions will probably not really be an option, and you need to contact us for a custom setup. But for most solutions between 50 and 500 ppm, the softeners really do work great. And once you've installed them, it's just a matter of optimizing the programming to use as little salt as possible and to regenerate as infrequently as possible. But once you've got it in place, excellent setup. If this falls a little outside of your budget, another option which is available is Silifos crystals. Now, I'm personally not a big fan of these, and the reason for that is their health effects in terms of drinking hasn't been researched thoroughly enough in our opinion. But basically the concept is you place these either in the tank, if you have a filter after the tank, or in a container such as a Big Blue, and they slowly dissolve into the water. And what they actually do is they coat the inside of your pipes, coat the inside of the geyser, coats the kettle, and this coating prevents scaling inside of the pipes. And it actually will remove some of the existing scaling as well, because the scaling is constantly breaking off and forming again. So if a piece breaks off, it'll coat behind that piece, and you'll slowly remove the scaling that's in the current pipes. This is very inexpensive, and you typically would start a setup of about 4 kilograms. They slowly dissolve and disappear, and then you would just top it up periodically with a kilogram or 2. If you're looking to use Silifos as an option, I really would strongly recommend placing an under-counter reverse osmosis system for your cooking and drinking water. As many people do use it, just drinking it normally, but we do have a few concerns in terms of the health effects of it, and therefore we would recommend using it in conjunction with the under-counter system. Or rather, if at all possible, go for a water softener. It simply is a better solution, and it will solve the problem instead of putting a band-aid on your pipes and geysers to extend the life a little bit there.